Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Ira Lake, a cognitive behavior therapist, and welcome to Positive Vibes, where we are attempting to change lives one video at a time. Today, I want to talk about self-imposed prisons. Self-imposed prisons. I've had the fortune to work with several men and women who have been incarcerated over the years. And as I have interacted with them and have talked with them and attempted to help them with their rehabilitation, I began to pick up certain slogans that were common in prison systems or settings. And here's the slogan I want to talk to you about today. You've got nothing coming. You've got nothing coming. Now, I know that doesn't sound right grammatically, but that's how they say it. You've got nothing coming. No G at the end of the coming. Now, what it means is when a prisoner, man or woman, goes in to jail and they are processed, they learn quickly that they have no hope because the other inmates tell them. They tell them things like, your wife's going to leave you. It's just a matter of time. She's going to divorce you. Your children will stop visiting you after a few months because they will be embarrassed and ashamed to say that they come to a prison to see their father or mother. Your family and your friends will one by one desert you. You got nowhere to go. You have nothing to look forward to. So in other words, you've got nothing coming. Now, how many of you out there are in your own self-imposed prison? You have lost all of your hope. You have nothing to look forward to. A relationship has gone sour or south. Your job is not what you wanted it to be. Your finances are in disarray. Your children don't speak to you. And you have adopted the same motto as the incarcerated man or woman. And so you say to yourself, I've got nothing coming. I've got nothing to look forward to. You are in what I call a self-imposed prison. But I've got to give you some good news today. You have the key to your cell. And you can walk out of that self-imposed prison anytime that you want. So let me tell you a story. I worked with a man who had lost his wife tragically for about 10 years. He had been in mourning and grieving. And when he finally came to me, he was a broken down shell of himself. He had stopped taking care of himself physically. He had messed around on his jobs and had started losing jobs every 6 or 7 months. He would just wash out at a job. Even visiting him at his home was in such disarray and unorganized and cluttered. He really didn't care. He had given up. And when I began to talk to him, I kept hearing a familiar word or familiar phrase. The phrase was, my wife is dead and I'm a widow. Every other word, it seems, or every other statement, it seemed like that's all he said. And after a while, that's how he identified himself. My wife is dead and I'm a widow. Now, I realize that people go through grieving, and I'm not trying to make light of his struggles because I'm not. But I realize, and I helped him to see over a period of time, that he was in a self-imposed prison. Whenever he would go around in social settings, that would be something he would always say, my wife is dead and I'm a widow. When he would go out with his friends from time to time, and he rarely did that, he would always bring up something about his wife being deceased and that he was now a widow. He was in a self-imposed prison. And he did not understand and realize that he had the key to open up and get himself from that prison, the prison in his own mind. You are and you become what you talk about the most. You are and you become what you talk about the most. You are and become what you think about the most. Everybody goes through disappointments and heartaches. Everybody has moments when things just don't work out. But if you stay there in your mind and if you keep talking about what used to be and what you did not do, you are in what I call a self-imposed prison. And while you're there, you'll never accomplish anything. You'll never get to be where you need to be. And I believe that you've got greatness inside of you, but you won't even recognize it until you are freed from your self-imposed prison. So, do you want to be free today? Then stop talking and stop thinking about the negative things that have happened in your life. Do you want to get out of prison? Stop remembering all the bad things that happened to you. Stop bringing them up in your memory. Stop talking about them. Those things do not define you. Do not let your negative past become your future and present identity. Break out of your self-imposed prison by simply stop talking, stop thinking about all of that stuff. And now you have to replace it with positive thoughts, new goals, new dreams. Start small and build up. And I believe that you can still experience the best that life has to offer. And I still believe that you will be able to positively contribute to the people around you, to yourself, and to wherever you come in contact with. I want to thank you so much for spending a few moments with me here today. And I pray that this short, brief, positive message has impacted you and has shaken you up so that you can realize that you no longer need to be in a self-imposed prison, that you are free. I invite you to tune in again next week when I will share with you again something that will be inspirational, something that will be positive, something that can literally change and turn your life around. If you want to further enhance your experience, I invite you to go to my website at www.imtasik.org. You can call me at 951-774-1367, or you can take part of some books that I've written by reading them. And I want to show you these books. The first book I've written is called Messed Up and Don't Even Know It. I am considered one of the leading experts in this country on childhood trauma. And through this book, and I've written it small so that you can read it in one sitting, several couples or individuals allowed me to tell their stories. I just changed the name. And I share with you their experiences about coming through something traumatic in their childhood. And I share with you chapter by chapter, by way of case studies, how we were able to help them, and then put some positive things in the event that this is something that speaks to you at the end of each chapter, some self-help ways that you can move on with your life. So you can get this book and my other book on Amazon.com, or you can go to BarnesandNobles.com, or you can go to my website and purchase it there. The second book I want to share with you is called People Are Bigger Than the Problems They Face. It's a book about relationships. I share with you things that are needed, the components that are needed to not only build, but enhance your relationship. Even if you're not married, you can find great benefit from this book. So, once again, I want to thank you for tuning in to Positive Vibes. I'm Dr. Ira Lake, and I look forward to seeing you next week.